Saturday would come, to town we'd run, found nowhere to feel alone. So many people there, you didn't care, you were just into your own fun. And it's a typical day, and such typical play, but in a typical way, I love you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
I'm Joel Torres.
And today we're talking about 1981's Texas Lightning.
Dickin', boy, dickin'.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team! But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Where did set it, knocker? I don't know. Ain't got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
Oh, the hell with women's live. I'm horny.
And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed. And
So we're here on The Grindbin. Joel, welcome to the show.
Hi. Why did I do this? Can I? Oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Joel, it's great to have you here. You've been, you had a podcast for a long time with Spencer, our guest from In the Folds of the Flesh and Coonskin, where you guys discussed, and I was on an episode of that, where you discussed Kurosawa films. And also, well, not all Kurosawa films, because the one I was on was not.
Yeah, Japanese films in general. High and Low was like an exploration with Kurosawa movies in the background, and we're actually working on a new project that we're going to start in March that I don't know if Spencer has revealed, so I'm just going to keep that close to my hat. Wait, how does the saying go?
I think you got it right. I think it's keep it close to my hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Are you referring to the Spike Lee one?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he let that cat out of the bag. Yes, the Spike Lee project. What is wrong with him?
Well, this episode probably is going to air at the end of March or in April. So,
Yeah.
No big deal.
Ah, perfect time.
I think even on Twitter it was linked to the new podcast name.
Yeah.
Goddamn Spencer and his big mouth.
And Joel, you also have another podcast, am I correct?
Yeah, I have a science fiction and fantasy movie podcast called Please Don't Send Me Into Outer Space that we used to have a weekly schedule. We're kind of working some kinks out, but we have like 150 episodes, so there's a big backlog of sci-fi madness there.
That's an impressive catalog.
And so you're joining us today for not a sci-fi movie, not a Japanese movie,
Well,
not a Spike Lee movie, but a request from one of our patrons.
It's about as far from your usual fare as we could have gotten.
You know, I have to say that we'll give the listeners a little insight here. Tonight has been a shit show of a night for us. We all love this movie so much, and we're so looking forward to it. And I'm going to let you know, guys, audience, this is going to be one of those episodes. It's going to be one of those ones you remember, because you're going to get yourself probably a pissed off Mike.
Yeah. You think this might end up being a hard left episode, Mike?
Oh boy, if only.
About the 40-minute mark, you're just going to call it?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how it goes, guys. It's definitely going to be something. You're in for an experience tonight. And Texas Lightning, man, let's see. All right now, the listeners are Googling up the poster, and they're like, oh, look at this guy. You know, he's sitting on a cowboy hat with 2 beers in his hand, 2 ladies right next to him. Like, man, what could go wrong with this movie, right? It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it says so on the poster. We're all about having a good time.
oh yeah.
Now, Bobby, what would you say the relationship of that poster to this movie is?
About the same relationship I have to this movie, in that I'm not in it either.
This movie, as we're going to get into it, guys, was completely changed by the producer. It was intended to be a serious drama, and then the producer saw it and said, nobody wants to watch this shit, and made it a comedy.
I have a question.
Yes.
In what way is this a comedy?
Well, it's not a comedy, but they decided to add, quote, funny scenes to it. So
Right.
they had to go back and reshoot a whole bunch of stuff.
But that's what I'm saying.
I
Is where
Wait,
are
wait,
said
wait.
scenes?
Yeah.
Weren't you slapping your knee like I was the entire first hour?
Oh,
here?
yeah. That part when they get pulled over by the cop. Am I right, guys? Woo!
Yeah, you know what? You know what? I was just so laughing my. Oh God!
I wasn't slapping my knee. I did have a closed fist.
That's what, I looked up the year of the movie at that point, and I was like, that is, wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we'll get to that.
You get a movie full of good old boys. What do you expect? Come on.
I expect a good time.
Yeah. Oh, man. In the vein of the traditional, like, Crown International type of 70s movie, which this is a 1981, but bullshit, it's 1981. This was filmed in the 70s for sure. This movie does fucking nothing for, like, 60 minutes, and then in the last 20 minutes tries to make a story.
Yeah.
Like, you can't suddenly decide that you want to be a movie.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, on another episode of the Grindbin. You can find...
Bobby, start the van.
Yeah. No, guys, but here you go. Let's get into it now. You're probably wondering, what the hell is going on? They're talking about a movie that was a drama, now it's a comedy. Guys, writer and director Gary Graver. Now, he has a amazingly weird background, okay? And I'm assuming, did you guys look up anything about the director?
No.
I did look into like his past film work and stuff like that, and it was kind of mind blowing how much work he's done and who he's worked with.
Oh, yeah, and also his second career that we'll get into.
Ooh.
But he has made an amazing amount of stuff. He has 218 cinematography credits and 143 directing credits. Now you might wonder, how could a guy this prolific make so many movies and work on so much stuff and you've never heard of him? We'll get into that. He started his career at 20 when he moved from Portland to Los Angeles. He couldn't find any work acting, so he turned to production. And he was soon drafted into the military and became a cameraman for the Navy. And after the Navy, he came back to Hollywood and he worked in some documentaries, and then he was a cinematographer on a movie called Satan's Sadists in 1969 and Dracula vs. Frankenstein in 1971. And it was around this time that he just decided on a whim to call Orson Welles one day on the phone, who he'd never met before and never spoken to, and just said, "Hey man, you need a camera guy?" And Orson Welles said, "Well, I guess so, because the only person that's ever called and asked me that was the cinematographer for Citizen Kane. So sure." And so Graver and Welles went on to form a very long partnership making stuff together. One of the first things they did was a 6-part series called An Evening with Orson Welles. It was produced for Sears, apparently. It was going to be released on videotape at some point.
At Sears.
Yeah, at Sears. A 6-part miniseries with Orson Welles released only in Sears, apparently.
An Evening with Orson Welles and a belt sander.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sears was a superstore back in the day. It totally makes sense.
Do you think that they were packaging it with TVs? They're like, yeah, if you buy a TV, we're going to throw in An Evening with Orson Welles. They're like, well, you can keep the Orson Welles stuff. I don't need it. But
It's probably next to the frozen TV dinners, actually.
So they went on to work on stuff together throughout the 70s. They worked together on a movie called The Other Side of the Wind, which, have you guys heard of this movie?
Is that the one that Netflix just, like, released and barely got finished?
Yep. It was not released until 2018. It took 5 years to film that movie. It was filmed all over the world. They finished principal photography in 1975, but because of legal issues, Orson Welles was never able to finish the film until last year when Netflix apparently picked it up and actually apparently tried to finish it. So I guess you can watch it now.
Yeah, I've heard good things, but I haven't taken the time to watch it because when it comes to Orson Welles movies, you gotta take like a year break. Yeah, it's been my experience.
Well, he also worked with him on 1973's F is for Fake, and then they worked together on the Orson Welles Show, the Orson Welles Magic Show,
Jeez,
and filming Othello, which is another thing Orson Welles directed and wrote. And then on the morning of Welles' death, they were set to start shooting their newest project, Julius Caesar, with Orson Welles playing every part.
Wow. That would have been incredible.
Yeah. Apparently at UCLA they had a stage ready to go, and then they didn't show up because they're like, yeah, about that, Orson's dead, so ain't gonna work. But guys, the Orson Welles story doesn't end there, because in I actually don't have the year. He was later sued by Orson Welles' daughter because the director of this movie auctioned off Orson Welles' Oscar for Citizen Kane.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, he wasn't using it.
Yeah, well, apparently the family thought it had been lost, but apparently Graver had it. And then he claimed that Orson Welles gave it to him as a gift, and the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences, Arts and Sciences, also tried to block the sale, but it didn't work, and he put it up for auction, and he made money on it, apparently.
Well, knowing Orson Welles' later life, he was probably totally drunk, and yeah, probably did be. You deserve this Oscar, my friend. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's just like, all right, fine. And then when he dies, he sells it.
Yeah.
Right after the body's in the ground, you go, all right, auction up for Citizen Kane.
I can't have anything in this house that reminds me of him. Plus, I need money.
So after that, guys, he shot many feature films for Roger Corman, including Moonshine Country Express, Death Sport, Grand Theft Auto, The Toolbox Murders, The Attic, and Mortuary, Chattanooga Choo Choo, and the remake of Stagecoach. He then shot something for Disney, which is Love Leads the Way, a true story, in 1984. And in 1981, he filmed this movie, based off a screenplay he wrote, and we'll get into all about this movie. But he would continue to shoot and sometimes direct B-movies for Vestron Video during the 1980s. But guys, you might be wondering, you go, well, wait a second, where do all those other credits come from? How do you have 143 directing credits?
Oh, I bet I can guess. In order to see those films, did you have to pass through a curtain?
Well, Bobby, under his name, Robert McCallum, he directed hundreds of other movies, and yes, all behind the beaded curtain at your local video store.
Of course. Through the old saloon doors.
That's crazy. I never got to go behind that curtain. I assumed it was full of candy and stuff. What kind of movies were they? Super fun?
That's just where they kept the foreign language stuff.
Do you want to hear some titles?
Oh yeah,
Please.
Okay, well, we got the Joy Fuck Club,
Clever.
Oral Majority 10. Here's one I really like. Maverick, which is a play on the Maverick movie, just with Dick added to the end of it.
That's not even creative.
No.
How about this one? The Ludwinski Report.
Ugh, timely.
Guys, you're going to love this one, right?
Are we?
Okay.
Okay. Well, we have, Robert Mitchum in the original. Then we got Robert De Niro in the next one. I wonder who played Max Cady in Cape Rear.
You were right.
Oh,
I do love it.
We would have also accepted Gape Fear.
Driving Miss Daisy Crazy Again. That's what?
These aren't that good.
Oh, here's one for you.
I'm almost impressed at how weak their pun game is.
Yeah. Here's one for you, Bobby. You ever seen the movie Bugsy?
Yeah.
Well, have you seen Jugsy?
What an auteur.
Boy.
Okay, well, we've all seen The Silence of the Lambs, right? The Jonathan Demme classic.
Sure.
Guys,
certainly.
How about Silence of the Bums?
I mean,
Really?
That just sounds like homeless people. I don't.
Yeah, that's
You couldn't
not
have
even
said
erotic.
You couldn't have said Gams.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's one for you. I'll end with the children's theme one. But here's one for you. Also a family film. 3 Men and a Hooker.
Well, I've seen that one.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Joel, you covered that on one of your shows, right?
Yeah, that was actually the third sequel in that series of movies, so it wasn't that weird. Ted Danson does some crazy stuff.
Oh, God.
And if you look just over his exposed ass, you can see the ghost of a child in the background.
And then, guys, I'll just end it with this. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2006 at the age of 68, but not before he directed a movie based on all of one of our childhood favorites, I'm sure. Home Alone becomes Home But Not Alone.
That's your movie title shouldn't be a full sentence.
No.
Cut
Home
it
But
out.
Not Alone.
Okay, home but not
Wow.
alone. Okay.
I have one more bit of trivia about this guy.
Oh, please.
He also did a little bit of acting. I only bring this up because Mike, he's
Stop
a Grindbin All-Star.
Stop it.
Whoa.
For what?
He was in the Girls of Thunder strip.
Oh.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He plays Pike's cousin, whoever the hell that was.
Great. I'm sure it was fucking great, too, man.
Mike is so upset.
I'd like to thank right now our wonderful patron, Eric, for requesting this movie. I know you get what you want, Eric. You got what you wanted.
Are you happy now?
But guys, let's get into the cast. Another Grindbin All-Star. Bobby, at this point, he's in the running for an automatic Grindbin Hall of Fame entry. Cameron Mitchell.
My God, this has got to be like his 5th or 6th appearance on the Grindbin now, and I'm sure there's many more to come.
I know. I have a Cameron Mitchell movie I want to get on this show so bad, but we got to cover stuff like Texas Lightning. But
Is it Home But Not Alone?
Yes. How'd you know?
I had a feeling.
But no. Let's see. He was in Raw Force, Demon Cop,
Yes, indeed.
Viva Knievel,
Certainly.
and Texas Lightning.
So it's his 4th entry
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, so far. And guys, this is the only time I think we're ever going to say this. Cameron Mitchell's son is in this movie, Cameron Mitchell Jr.
At the time known as Channing Mitchell. By the way, Cameron and Channing, neither of those are his actual first name.
Really?
His name's actually Charles.
Oh. I was hoping it would be Buddy Owen, like in the movie.
Buddy
'Cause that's
Owen
the
Mitchell.
character he plays. Buddy Owen Mitchell. He only has 17 credits, believe it or not. Cameron Mitchell Jr. is not a prolific actor. He's just barely in anything, actually. He just kind of has bit parts here and there. He was in 1988's Space Mutiny, though, which stars Reb Brown, who's probably going to be a Grindbin All-Star at some point. He was in... He was on... Cameron Mitchell Jr. was also in 2006's Hollywoodland. And then he was in...
Huh.
Yeah, and he was in 2012's Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days.
Classic.
Huh.
Yeah.
The best one in the series by far.
And then Peter Jason, who plays Frank. Guys, I don't know if you know about Frank here, but, man, you've seen him in everything.
Yeah, he's very prolific.
260 credits. He is... let me just read off the credits for you guys. He has roles in 48 Hours, Karate Kid, They Live, Congo, Mortal Kombat, Escape from L.A., Dante's Peak. He's on every episode of Deadwood as Con Stapleton. And he was also recently, Bobby, in one of your favorite, most recent movies, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, wonderful. Which dinosaur was he?
He plays a senator.
Oh, I thought maybe he was the Baryonyx.
No, he's in about 10 movies filming right now. Yeah, so
Damn.
Peter Jason, I'm sure he looks fondly on this movie because he is
yeah.
portrayed as a great guy. Absolute saint.
Do you think he works so much to try and make up for this?
I'd hope so.
Like, eventually he's going to hit enough projects?
Yeah, eventually he's just be like, all right, I'm done. I've made up for Texas Lightning. I'm sorry, world. So Gene Clark, who plays Leonard, guys, he only has 22 acting credits. He works mainly in sound departments for movies, and by sound departments, I mean he's the boom operator. His career was varied, though. His acting career, almost every role is uncredited, which leads me to believe that he was still the boom operator, and they're like, can you just stand in this scene?
So, I mean, there stands a pretty good chance that this is a Grindbin All-Star as well, just for his boom work.
Yeah.
He may be the man behind Mr. Boom.
In one of his like exploitation movie credits that he's uncredited for, it says boom operator, uncredited, and I'm like, is that just because he dipped the boom in the shot? Like, did some asshole go on his IMDb and get so pissed off he gave him a credit for the boom being in the movie? But no, he's in all sorts of crap, so... That's Gene Clark, Leonard. You'll see him either in a movie or his work in a movie when that mic dips in there and they yell at Gene. And then, guys, there's one more person who's kind of a Grindbin All-Star, but we're not going to mention until the movie starts because, boy, what a fucking reveal that was, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the name's in the credits, so I knew. But then when they finally appeared on screen, I was like, what in the hell?
Yeah, you still don't expect it. It
No.
still kind of throws you for a loop, even with the name on the poster.
And
Yeah.
then what this actor did in the movie, you're like, oh, well, did they owe money or something? Like, because it was...
I got a theory about that.
Oh, well, I can't wait to hear it, Joel.
Interesting.
But before we get into it, I'll just say, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun with this one today because this was one of those movies that Mr. Crown or somebody like him paid a bunch of money to some guy, you know, that he'd heard directed a bunch of sexy movies, and he's going to get a movie of his own, right? It's not going to be a porno. It's going to be something we can show in the theaters, right? It's got some big names attached to it. I mean, we got Cameron Mitchell and all, and he's been promised that there's going to be some nudity and some wild stuff in it, right? And they sit down in the screening room. The director turns it on and presents his opus, which was originally called The Boys and not Texas
man.
Lightning.
Here come the boys.
And it was 90 minutes of a serious drama. And the producer was so fucking pissed, they apparently made them go back and make this movie into a comedy.
That's amazing.
But the most amazing part about it is they kept the ending. They
Now-
kept the last 30 minutes.
And reshot everything else.
I mean, that's clear enough because they kept... Here's what they did. They obviously kept the first 5 minutes and the last 30 minutes. And
Certainly.
and everything else was like, you get the fuck out there and you make this watchable.
Like the original cut, they never even go to the Stetson.
No, absolutely not. That to me was like the... Because that's like, what is that, a good 20, 30-minute scene where they go
It's
to
a whole
a bar?
fucking movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I feel like it was just, yep, you go back out there and you fucking make this thing watchable.
They spent one night in a bar just trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
Get it all on
The director
camera.
kept yelling at the producer, but I don't know how to tell jokes. I don't care.
Comedy's the easiest form. We all know this.
It really feels like they just brought a camera to a bar at some point. They're like, all right, boys, go.
How do you make a bar funny? Well, I've got 3 notes, and one of them includes water. We'll get to it.
What if you put on like a really bright shirt?
Oh, God. So, guys, we start this movie with how you want to start half the fucking movies we've watched lately, right? It starts just like 16. It's just a train, a country song. Cameron Mitchell's
yeah.
name comes up, you know.
Little
We're
honky
taking our
tonk
time.
noodling.
Yeah. Some big rigs riding around, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Here we may have our first instance of a joke, because amongst all this stock footage of people driving around, we get apparently Murray Langston on a motorcycle.
You know what? I wrote the same thing. There's a man with a bag on his head riding a fucking motorcycle. And I immediately knew at that
comedy.
point. I was going to hate this fucking movie.
See, that was a warning, Mike. Murray
It really
Langston
was.
drove by to tell you it's not too late to go back.
Yeah. Mike,
do you-
turn around now.
Who do you think punched up the script? Come on.
Oh, definitely.
You know what, Joel? If Murray was on set, I wouldn't be surprised.
Joel figured
Especially
this
with the
out.
cop scene. Like, that makes a lot of sense now, right? But here, did you guys notice, by the way, in the intro, that, Bobby, you were saying, quote, stock footage. I don't know if I'd call it stock footage when you're, like, kind of doing voyeuristic shots of people eating in a diner from across the street with shaky-ass cameras.
Oh, I said stock footage.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Because some of the shots are like people eating in a diner. They're filming from so far away, they've zoomed in the camera. It's all shaky and everything. Like, you can almost see the goddamn wind hitting the tripod. And we're watching like a lady, like really blurry, order pancakes or something. Like, that's... What is going on?
I think it wasn't like they were trying to get footage of people eating a diner. I think the cameraman was like filming. They're like, what the hell did you film all this for? He's like, my wife was in there with some other guy. Like, oh God, we got to do something with this film. Jeez.
Yeah, that just got mixed in with the rest of the footage. I'm like, what's the diner scene? I guess we'll throw it in, huh?
Yeah.
So now we get the paper boy delivering paper to a house, right? And this real slob named Frank picks up the paper and he assaults a woman sleeping on his couch.
He does. Now, one thing I want to point out, though, looking at the decor in his house, is he an eye doctor?
That's
Okay.
Is he an
What?
optometrist?
Okay. You're right, Bobby, because there's a part where it just pans over and there's an eye chart with like a glasses case. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Did they just get like...
He's got a whole rack of lenses.
Is the only location they could get like an eye doctor's place or something? Like, what's going on? Like, do you think that they showed up? Some guy's like, yeah, sure, you can use my house. And when they get there, he's like, well, you can't move the glasses stuff. I got an appointment at 2. It's like, what are we going to do? The guy lives here. He's not an eye doctor. It's like, oh.
Oh, no, that actor brought it from home. He's like, I was thinking my character would be an optometrist. Yeah, sure, whatever. Just put it in the set.
Yeah,
he didn't want him to seem like too much of a hick. He wanted to give him a little something. You know, he's like, I'm relatable.
Producer says it needs to be funny, so what's more funny than an eye doctor? Am I right?
So my understanding in this scene so far is that a girl fell asleep during an eye exam.
Yeah.
That's what wrestling her awake.
In her lingerie, apparently, right?
She thought she was dressed. That's why she's here.
Again, she's sleeping on the couch, okay? So when he walks up and starts grabbing her face and kissing her, I was like, okay, I don't know what the situation is, but yes, maybe this eye doctor put her under some gas, which I don't know why you'd have in an eye doctor office. Is it a dentist? But either that or it's like his daughter or somebody, or like, what's going on, right? Because, I mean, why would somebody in a couple, why would she be sleeping on the couch? It's never explained.
I don't.
Not really, no. Until, go ahead, Joel.
Does the man own a bed?
You know what? This guy, probably not.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would understand that. There was a point in my life where I didn't own a bed. See, I was smart. I was in a roommate situation. I had one of those, one of those IKEA specials where it, like, folds into a couch. And I'm like, oh, this would be perfect. And when I have guests over, there isn't, like, a bed everyone has to sit on.
Oh. I thought you were going to say something like you slept in an eye doctor place.
I did, yes.
Okay.
This is where that was who I meant by my roommate. Was actually the other guy at Target Optical.
You just pull one of the Target couches in there and just go, all right, time for bed.
Better set my alarm for before the alarm goes off in this Target.
So he starts the day cracking a beer open, right? He's getting his little pop in the morning. And we learn that he's divorced because the lady wakes up, Donna wakes up from the couch, and she says something about how he's divorced. And I write, of course. And his wife ran off with a circus actor.
Specifically, I believe she says circus midget.
Oh, boy.
Which is not a word that we use anymore, but I believe that's what the actual line was.
You know, funny thing about this movie, it's filled with words we don't use anymore. Or then, when they filmed it.
Yeah. And you know, with a crack like that, I am certain that this was Murray Langston writing this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. So she says that stuff about his wife leaving, right? And he gets, like, very offended and looks at her and he's like, why don't you shut the hell up? You don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, you still love it, don't you? And then he walks away and I'm like, real charmer this Frank guy is. Real charmer.
Good start. Is this our protagonist?
Yeah. I wonder if we'll get to like him more as the movie goes on.
Almost certainly.
This kept happening. This kept going, like, they have to become likable at some point, right?
Yeah,
that's the theme of the movie.
Somebody has to be likable, right? So now we cut to a large man named Leonard who refuses to fucking ever get dressed in this movie, and he's the last.
Dear God.
But you know what? I'll give him credit. Leonard, thank God you didn't do the Grindbin tradition and show us your asshole. There was no point where I had to see this fat man's asshole, and it was great for that reason.
I'm sure that was in the dramatic cut.
There's a part where Leonard's just bent over and they do the real artsy butthole reveal.
He gets
the
bit
old
by a
artsy
snake,
butthole.
you know.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh God, a real City Slickers thing, but it wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
He just gets bit by a rattlesnake on the ass. And so he's watching. He apparently gets a call from his mother, and we learn kind of some of the plot is that he's going hunting with the boys this weekend.
And she's really giving him the business about it. And so we get a lot of, yes, mother. Yes, I'm hunting all weekend, mother. And then once he hangs up, he mutters to himself, come Christmas, I'm going to buy that woman a bear trap.
I don't even, all right. What's the...
And then he waits for the applause to stop.
I was just more question marks in my notes. I'm like, what? So instead, cut to Cameron Mitchell's house, right? And he's got a real happy family, guys.
He sure does.
How's his wife start the day?
Well, she is confined to a bed. She being, of course, Grindbin All-Star Hope Holiday.
Really? What was she in?
Raw Force.
Oh God, no!
This is
it?
Cameron Mitchell's wife.
Stop it! It really is.
I will not stop it
Oh,
because it is.
my
shit.
gosh, the whole family.
But hold on a second.
Yeah.
In Raw Force, she could walk.
Well, you see, she's playing a role, Mike.
What?
Yes, but what is the point of her being confined to a bed in this movie? What thing does that add to this fucking movie?
Well, I think I can key into here. Let me just
Please.
explain. I mean, we get introduced also to Cameron Mitchell's son here, who is actually played by Cameron Mitchell's son, and he's real worried that his boy is going to grow up soft. And I think, typically in a movie like this, we're supposed to assume that there's a number of reasons why he could end up. Just kidding, it's all the wife's fault.
As he says, you've sissified him.
Molly coddled.
Because she's begging him not to take this kid hunting. She says, please don't take the boy. He's different. Oh. And they push this he's different so much that I assumed they meant gay.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was that he was gay.
But then they end up not even going that direction with it.
No, they imply it sometimes, kind of.
Like the whole movie, until later.
Yeah, for some reason it's the most delicate thing of all the things they like go full on the whole gay angle. They kind of keep very delicate, which is weird considering all the other insanely racist and offensive things they're gonna do in this movie. All the bad words we've heard that we don't use today on the Grindbin, the one word we don't hear is the other F word, and I was shocked that it didn't come out in this movie.
That was in the dramatic cut.
Yeah.
Like most homosexual experiences, they flirt with it for a while and then chicken out at the last minute. Am I right, fellas?
I don't know. I haven't been to the optometrist in a long time.
Oh. Oh God! So I love this though. The probably Cameron Mitchell's wife is my favorite character in the whole movie because she is like done with this fucking life. She wakes up in the morning and is immediately taking a little swig of the old Jackie D, as they call it in this movie. She's like got a bottle
I've never
behind.
heard anyone refer to it as that other than in this movie.
Nope.
But I will for the rest of my life at this point. She
You're going to go
takes
to a bar tomorrow and be like, give me some Jackie D.
Of course I will, and I'm going to arm wrestle somebody and say it was Jackie D.
Yep. And next weekend in the Rainbow Room, that's where you'll be doing it.
You better damn well believe it. And so his wife apparently hides a bottle of the old Jackie D behind her pillow. Like some people got guns under their pillow. She's got a bottle of Jackie D.
It's like the mom in A Nightmare on Elm Street. You got to have a bottle just in case.
Oh, yeah.
So she's just downing it in the morning, and Cameron Mitchell walks in the room, and that's, when they get in the whole thing. He's taking the boy hunting. She doesn't want him to go. And then we cut back to Frank, and he's demanding breakfast from his house guest, Donna. At this point, we don't know they're in a relationship or anything. And she does that thing where she pours way too much pepper onto the eggs. And
yeah, the shaker comes apart. And so it's as if someone played a prank on her, like they unscrewed the top of it.
that seems like something Frank would do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not out of his character. He probably does that to himself. This guy's such a fucking asshole, he probably pranks himself.
Probably.
He seems like that kind of guy for sure. We also cut away to Leonard, who has removed his dentures to brush them. Oh. And he accidentally drops them in the sink, guys, and they break. And he looks up and goes, "Fiat."
Yeah, and you know what I really fucking wanted was for a fat guy who refuses to wear clothes to also have no goddamn teeth for the rest of the movie. That's right. Leonard won't have teeth for the rest of the movie. And by the way, guys, he eats every fucking scene he's in. We gotta watch a fat man that refuses to wear clothes with no teeth gnawing on burritos for the rest of the movie.
And when he's not eating, he's smiling like it's the best day of his life the whole time. So you just get that full gummy row.
Man, oh man.
So how do you think these guys know each other?
Yeah, that's a good question. How did this gang come together? Were they a band?
They were all in Vietnam together. No, I don't.
I feel like they just met
probably
at the optometrist.
Oh, that's probably it.
Like, just Frank's their eye doctor. This is like his only two customers. He's like, "You guys want to go hunting?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Maybe he's the optometrist and the local dentist. Maybe that's where he got the gas from.
Oh, there we go.
Explains,
I like
I'll
this
get
theory.
you these dentures. Yeah.
Okay. So Cameron Mitchell, we go back to him. He starts his day just how his wife does, but he has a little coffee with his Jackie D.
Yeah,
So he's got...
Because he's the sober one.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a...
He's the one who's got his life together.
Yeah, he's got himself a coffee. He just pours a little bit of a little nip, you know. He's the responsible one, right? And this is when I write in my notes, I go, everyone in this movie is horrible. I mean, every single fucking person is horrible. Horrible. And then Cameron Mitchell's wife's trying to get the son not to go with Cameron Mitchell, and...
Yeah, she tells him, hey, don't go. They think you're easy, and they'll push you.
Yeah, and he's
like, well, I promised I'd go, and I won't let them push me around. And she goes, do you love Mother? Yes. Tell me. And she grabs his face, and they get real close, and I get real uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's becoming like a Jala movie or something. You know, you don't know.
Yeah.
The family love's getting real close. And to know that they're really related is even weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah, she keeps saying, don't let them go, don't let them get to you, and... Yeah, she says, don't let them get to you. I'm like, what does this mean? What is going on? And
At this point, who knows?
You know, I'm almost wondering, guys, you know, I hope this isn't offensive or something, but it's like, I wonder if maybe she actually went on one of these hunting trips, and that's why she's confined to the chair.
I mean, considering what happens later in the movie, yeah, maybe.
She has this 1,000-yard stare that at least bare minimum, she's seen some shit.
Yeah, it's like, I went on one of those trips once. Please don't go.
One time, your father came home covered with bruises, and I
So now we go to Frank and Donna having breakfast. The pepper joke, by the way, never comes up because she never takes the pepper out of the egg. She just folds it in. It's never addressed. It's
Yeah,
like,
it
you
is.
missed your... Oh,
No,
is
they
it
talk
really?
about it.
Yeah, he says it's kind of peppery. She's like, well, accidents happen.
Wait, so
And there you
that's
have
the
it.
whole fucking punchline? It's not ever like, oh, God, there's so much fucking pepper. It's just...
No,
a
he
little
just goes,
pepper.
a little heavy on the pepper on that one. All right. And he keeps eating.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's your
Comedy
one
gold.
chance. This is your one chance for a legit joke in this movie.
Is it?
And they fucked it up.
I mean, I was laughing, but... No, wait,
Did you
sorry.
just see-
Those were tears.
You were
Could you
slapping your
just-
knee again?
You see Mr. Crown sitting in the chair. He's like, all right, here we go. This is going to be a good joke. That broad put all the pepper in the eggs and everything. And then the scene happens, and he's
Yeah.
like, are you fucking serious?
Like, why isn't this guy sneezing a cloud?
Yeah, he's like, come on! Like the Bugs Bunny shit. He's going to sneeze all over the place. It's going to be great. No, he just says it's a little peppery.
He's like,
Alternate
a little
version.
less pepper next time.
Alternate version. He says, how come he doesn't hit her?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
God.
I think he did. I think they just cut.
Okay.
That's in the dramatic cut.
And so Cameron and Buddy are now... So Buddy is Cameron's son. They're eating breakfast together. And
And they mentioned that mom's getting worse. Her mental condition.
what is going on? What do you mean worse? Like
We
that
never
she-
clarify.
I think it's
Just
that she
that
wants...
she's worse.
Oh, that she wants to kill herself.
Probably, yes.
Because the best
Wouldn't you?
thing you should do is leave a suicidal woman home alone for the weekend while you go hunting. At least they took the guns. I mean, but for fuck's sake, she's got serious issues, man. Because when they leave, she looks like she's ready to down a bottle of Advil or something.
Oh, definitely. And you know what? Honestly, same.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with it.
But the conversation's pretty cordial, pretty nice, like a father and son, until Buddy goes, do I have to go? And then it gets real quiet.
And the
Cameron
award goes too.
Oh, it's amazing. He goes, what did you say? And then suddenly, out of nowhere, he fucking snaps. Like Billy Jack. And he clears the table, he starts screaming, you are not a goddamn pansy!
I mean, we've seen this in person, Bobby, when we record and anybody says anything bad about Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mike, I'm trying to keep my shit together right now. Do not bring that up.
You know, you stand up, you push the microphones off the table, and you go, you sir are wrong. Fuck you.
You know, this is exactly why we record remotely now.
Yeah, exactly. We aren't allowed to come back.
It's better that we're not in the same room.
So he says, you're not a pansy, you're a goddamn man. And
And
I'm
he explains, when I was your age, I'd skin 40 deer. How many have you skinned?
40.
Like, a day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every day.
Wow.
And he could eat 50 eggs.
Oh.
That's also what he says to him. He goes, you're regular. You're not weird. Which is...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
And again, I assume that they're talking. This is like this is an LGBT kid, and
Yeah.
but we never actually go there with it. It's
Nope.
just you're a weirdo.
Oh, no.
And so they try to calm things down, and Buddy O and the son goes, well, can I at least see the paper? And he goes, you can have the sports section.
So then we cut to Leonard, and he's packing his gun, but he still won't put on clothes, which I was real happy about.
He's getting so much mileage out of those tidy whities. I just,
But at least when he goes to his truck and he gets that ready, he's got the clothes on, right? So I feel like, by the way, the only reason Leonard's their friend is because he's got this big truck. Because otherwise, he has
that's pretty much it.
I mean, yeah,
yeah, nothing in common with anybody else.
They only ever see Leonard on hunting day and moving day.
In a team of dirtbags, he's definitely the king.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I guess it depends. He's King Slob. Yeah.
He's the king frat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Frank.
In the land of the white trash, the shirtless man is king.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Frank is a worse person, but
I mean, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
That's really hard to say.
Yeah.
And everybody's wondering, they're like, how bad are these guys? They seem fine right now. Don't worry, guys. Just wait 5 minutes. So Frank says bye to Donna, right, as Leonard pulls into the driveway. And that's when I noticed in my notes, Bobby, that apparently he also is an optometrist, or this is the only location they could film at. Because we see the eye test chart in the background and the glasses display case. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? Also, then I couldn't get out of my head, why was Donna sleeping on the couch? Because they're kissing and everything. Like, why was she on the couch? Like, either he doesn't have a bed or he makes her sleep on the couch?
Who knows? That's a whole separate movie.
There's a lot of separate movies going on, man. Like Cameron Mitchell's wife, the story with Donna here. Like, were these things addressed in the serious cut? Were these things just like all taken out?
I mean, they had to be, because you said that the original cut was 90 minutes. Well, this cut's 91.
Yeah, and apparently they replaced the entire middle of the movie with go to a bar, which can't wait to get to, guys. Boy, we're going to have a lot to say there. So now
that's
the boys...
where the real fun starts.
Oh, boy. So now the boys, Frank and Leonard, they show up to pick up Cameron and Buddy, and they don't want Buddy to go on the trip, of course. They're joking in the car. They're like, hope he doesn't bring his fucking kid. And they're like, well, I hope he doesn't bring his wife. And that's when we get a joke about how they could strap her to the back of the truck with a bungee cord so she could roll behind the truck.
Fantastic. These guys, I swear.
Yeah, by this point, my knees are becoming raw. For the slapping.
I can imagine even, like, Mr. Crowd's not laughing at this point. He's like, that's fucked up.
Oh, yeah. This movie broke Mr. Crown for sure.
You go back and you make it funny. And they still left in the wheelchair gag. My God.
That was funny.
That's the real test. If there's somebody in the audience at that point that laughs,
if there's somebody in the audience at that point.
Yeah, if there's anybody left. This is
if anyone made it to the end credits, it's a success.
It's like what we said, like a screening of Whoopee Boys, where they would just go in afterwards and it would just be a bunch of popcorn everywhere and no people. That's what it looked like at a screening of Texas Lightning, except it being the drive-in and there's just nobody left. All the cars are gone. And it's just Cameron Mitchell alone on the screen tapping it going, anybody still there?
Hello?
So then Cameron grabs his gun and his liquor and they go out to the truck. And then the boys all get in the truck and they made Buddy ride in the truck bed apparently for I don't know how long they're going to be driving out to Joshua Tree to shoot animals illegally. But they make Buddy ride in the truck bed for the entire trip.
Him and his dog.
Yeah. Also, so he brings like some sort of wolf-looking dog with him on the trip.
Yeah, he's like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
It kind of is, actually, yeah. And so then Mom looks out the window as they drive away. She kisses a picture of Cameron and Buddy, which I'm sure is a real-life picture.
Yep. Then the camera drifts away and you just hear blam. But that's...
Yeah. And then Cameron thinks to himself in the truck, he goes, I think I forgot a gun. And so then we go, guys, I just write, runtime.
We get a hell of a song while we're trying to run this out.
It's
we get a rendition of Mamas Don't Let Your Cowboys Grow Up to Be Babies.
Yeah. Did they need a response song to the original? Yeah.
Yeah, this is some kind of 70s bloodhound gang with their
The 70s Weird Al.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, runtime. This is when they're going to make it funny, guys. Where the boys just ride around with their truck and throw Burger King wrappers out the window and beer cans on the highway.
And maybe the dialogue here is funny. It's too muffled to tell.
Oh yeah, they just had the fucking window open, and of course Leonard's probably doubling as the boom operator as well as acting in the movie.
That's why his arm was off screen. Okay.
Yeah, he's just got it held up.
Like they're jousting in the truck.
And you just see Mr. Crown in the screening room. Just his face is like as red as a fucking beet at this point. Just so mad. And he says that exact line, Bob. He goes, "Well, it might be funny, but I can't fucking hear a goddamn word they're saying. Because it sounds like they're on a... And then they're just throwing fucking beer cans on the highway and shit. It's just... Oh, God, it's horrible. But what I can make out is that Cameron tells his friends... He's like, hey, lay off my son. I brought him on this hunting trip to become a man. And I write,
yeah,
well, if this is the type of man they want him to be, the kid's better off just jumping out the truck bed. He's better off just ending it right now.
Just following that burger wrapper right out the window.
And so then we go to a gas station, right? And hey, here we go. The boys are at the gas station. They know this guy. His name's Walt. He runs the station, right?
And can we talk about Walt for a second?
Oh, please.
Mm-hmm.
Walt is an actor by the name of Charles Deercup, who some horror fans may know as the Killer Santa from the beginning of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty significant role. And also, Mike, he's a Grindbin All-Star.
Oh my God, for what? Don't say... If you say
appeared.
Thunderstrip, I am fucking ending this podcast right now.
I'm not saying Thunderstrip. I'll have you know, Mike, he's a Blair Vember All-Star because he appeared in Grotesque.
Oh, okay. And who was he? The boat captain or something?
He played a character called Matson.
Oh,
that's one of the-
Matson. Real classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could forget? So they roll up to this gas station while some kids are liberating the place with some toy machine guns.
Yeah. Yeah. And Walt is... he just kind of walks out. He's like, hey, how you doing, boys? And they're like, yeah, we're going hunting. He's like, you guys are going to kill yourselves because it's too hot to hunt or something. And he's like...
Yeah, he's kind of being the harbinger.
Yeah. Because he does pause
He's like,
on
you're
that
all
line.
doomed if you go out there.
Yeah, he does like a dramatic pause like it's Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, he's the old man.
You
from
don't want to go
Friday-
down that road.
Old man from Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. This is like Cabin in the Woods.
He's like, come in and have some of my barbecue.
Oh, God.
We are in Texas.
And so that's what he says.
Well, we are unless you look at every license plate in this movie.
Shh, Texas.
Texas.
Oh, well,
Texas County.
Well, good news is that at this time, Joshua Tree was not a national park, so you could go in there and I guess shoot all the shit you wanted.
Oh, it's like a couple of weeks ago.
There was a government shutdown then, too.
Oh, that was just somebody reenacting Texas lightning. Okay.
Oh, it makes more sense now. Yeah, I could assume Cameron Mitchell and the boys would pull out some Joshua trees from the ground and plant one in their own front yards. I could see it.
Sure.
So no, these idiots are apparently going out to try and kill rabbits. Rabbits. That's what we're hunting, guys. Rabbits. They couldn't do it in the backyard. They gotta go all the way out to Joshua Tree at 120 degree weather to shoot rabbits with the shotgun, apparently.
Well, they just want to do it for target practice. They're not intending on bringing back any rabbit meat.
Yeah, when they explain it, he basically is like, "Oh, we don't do it for any reason. We're not going to keep these animals, and you don't necessarily have to shoot at rabbits. You know, whatever's out there, cans and snakes and what. It's just for
Each
the
other.
shooting." Well,
Oh yeah, I mean they just start shooting everything. At some point, it's just like it's like a nature documentary, but with a gun pointed at every animal.
yeah.
But the gas station attendant asks, are you sure it's a good idea to take this boy hunting? He looks like he's dressed for Sunday school.
Yeah, and it's surprising to me that you guys can even understand what the hell these guys are saying. It's not that there's wind in the boom mic. It's just that everybody is so goddamn drunk. They're slurring their words. Like Cameron Mitchell is so heavy on the fucking sauce, man, that he is just slurring all over the fucking place.
And we're killing so much time at this gas station. At one point, we follow Walt to go talk to some biker.
Yeah, and by the way,
it
Bobby...
has nothing to do with the plot of this movie. We're just hanging out.
Yes! There's also a part where Cameron Mitchell drunkenly screams, rabbits aren't dumb, man. They aren't dumb. He starts screaming that, and I'm like, okay.
And you know what? at this point, leave me at the gas station.
Yes.
It's a better movie. I just want to hang out at this guy's gas station.
Well, we do.
Some dude dressed like Hillbilly Jim from the WWF,
Yes.
just talking to the customers.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes and he talks to a guy on a motorcycle. It has nothing to do with the plot of the movie. And then we cut back to Cameron Mitchell's now all of a sudden standing at a big rig petting it. And I almost am like, I feel like Cameron Mitchell just started wandering around the set and the director's like, Cameron, we got to go get back to the scenes. And he's like, I'm just going to hang out here for a while, son. Why don't you turn on that camera? I'll show you something
Now,
good.
at that point, I thought this is where the movie was going to start. I was like, I don't know what Texas Lightning is. Maybe it's going to strike that truck, or we're going to get like a maximum overdrive situation.
Oh, okay. When's the big hat
Again,
from the
better
poster
movie.
come into play, right? Where's the big hat?
The dude on the giant hat is going to show up. He's going to keep it close to his hat.
Yes. But no, we watch Cameron Mitchell pet a big rig and talk to Walt about nothing. I write in my notes, I mean nothing. Nothing. They just
Literally nothing.
bullshit for like 3 minutes while they need to pad the runtime of the new movie they're making. And then they make fun of Cameron's son for a little bit because he's never shot or killed a rabbit. And that's it. The scene just ends.
And he ain't no friend of mine.
Yeah. And then you know what we get? Slow motion shots of Leonard and Frank shooting Budweiser cans. Label out, baby. Got to get that Budweiser money. They were
Absolutely
biting.
got product placement.
Because nothing is better than showing a bunch of guys going on a hunting trip and hitting the sauce hard. And if you're going to hit that sauce hard, make it a Budweiser.
So, and then, Cameron comes over to Buddy Owen. He's like, God, it's beautiful up here, isn't it, son? And he goes, yeah, you see the canyon and the clouds? And he's like, no. Yeah, I guess that's cool, too. I meant the boys. Isn't it beautiful being up here with the boys?
And he's like, no. And so, by the way, they shoot Budweiser bottles and cans, but they couldn't get that Coke money because they settled for Pepsi. And how many fucking times do we hear the word Pepsi in this movie? It's
Quite a few.
Within a 30-second... and the problem is I'm not going to be able to play the audio because the only place you can watch this movie is on Amazon. I wouldn't recommend it. It's free. I still wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I remember there's that scene where he's like, why can't you be normal like an ice-cold Pepsi?
Yep. Yeah, you got to hear Cameron Mitchell go, hey, you got any Pepsi in that cooler? Give me a Pepsi, right? Ice-cold Pepsi, yeah?
I guess a Diet Pepsi for my son here.
Yeah. It's all right to drink Diet Pepsi. You can still be normal and drink the diet, right? Oh, man, does Pepsi have great products. So then Buddy accidentally keeps pointing a gun at Leonard, and Leonard's getting all pissed about it, right?
As one does.
But it doesn't matter because the whole movie all these guys do is point guns at each other and nobody complains then. Just right now they are. And so Cameron and the boys try and teach Buddy how to hunt, and I just write, what the fuck are they talking about? Because their lesson is just like, hey, here's what you do. You just point the gun and then you get it. Do we got any more Pepsi or drinks? You just point it and you just look down the thing and you shoot it. And then when you kill the rabbit, here's what Frank says. When you kill the rabbit, you got to step on its head so you can separate it from the body. And I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of goddamn zombie rabbits are they killing? What the fuck are they talking about?
They're saving a town by going out there.
Here also, by the way, is handing Buddy a double-barrel shotgun to shoot rabbits. I'm just like, at that point, you're shooting that thing with a double-barrel shotgun. There's not going to be a rabbit. It's just going to be a poof of red.
I mean,
the
they got a gun for every occasion. They got the shotgun. They got, rifles with scopes. They even have their own freaking, 6-shooters for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're packing heat like they're about to stage a coup.
Yep.
I thought they were going to take over the gas station.
Oh, God, they're going to do like a Bundy situation?
Why didn't that happen?
Oh, yeah, this was a sovereign nation thing for sure.
Holy fuck, they take over the bar? Yes. Now that's a movie, okay? That's Texas Lightning.
They declare it their own country?
Oh, goddamn. You should have been writing for Mr. Graver back in 1981, Bobby.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pepsi Land.
Yeah, the delivery guy shows up with a truck full of Coke. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
The original movie was called Babes in Pepsi Land.
So that, they're going to go shoot rabbits with all sorts of guns and probably have a coup at some point. But now we watch just a montage of drunk idiots trying to hunt. Cameron tries to shoot a rabbit. He didn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's so goddamn drunk he can barely hold up the gun for a take. It's really bad. Mm-hmm. And you remember how I said Leonard got upset that Buddy pointed a gun at him.
Yeah.
Well, Leonard pulls a Dick Cheney, and and I'm not kidding, he shoots the gun right above Cameron Mitchell's head, a shotgun. And Cameron Mitchell's like, "What the fuck, man?" And he's like, sorry.
Hey, if it was a Dick Cheney, Cameron Mitchell should have apologized. I know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And so then we watch a montage of these guys trying to kill rabbits. Frank's trying to kill empty beer cans, but he can't do that. He just falls on the ground and starts using his six-shooter. And at some point, you're hoping he's just going to shoot his own foot, and they got to go home from this hunting trip. Like, maybe we'll just... Please, right?
Please.
So this is when it starts, Joel. Like you said, they're just going to hunt random animals. Is that Leonard just starts shooting the sky now. He's going to shoot some birds.
Yep.
We got to see Cameron Mitchell shoot a squirrel with a handgun in front of his son, and then we see this... Now, did they really...
No.
I don't think this is a cannibal
It was
Holocaust type
definitely
situation.
a squirrel-like puppet, and you see it kind of like moving, but you can see the there is a visible string that's like jiggling it.
You know what? To me,
They found a dead squirrel and attached fishing line to
yes,
it.
and they put a bullet wound in it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think that's worse than actually shooting it. Is that they took the time to rig this special effect
Into a
an
little
idea for
makeshift
this.
Jeff Dunham puppet.
and this is when I read. I go, did they get like permits for this or like what
Hell no.
I mean, I guarantee the first movie had permits. The second movie, though, no. Renegade.
No.
Well,
absolutely not.
Because okay, so basically what they did is they're like, look, nobody's using the area of Joshua Tree, so let's just go out there with the truck. Cameron and the boys will bring some guns. We'll just fucking shoot around, shoot a movie. Sound good?
It's going to be
Oh,
fun.
Bob, I ran over a squirrel. Oh, good, I got an idea.
Oh, how fortuitous for us.
Then we just drive in the truck and sing 99 bottles of beer while Leonard just starts shooting a gun out the window. Right? So, fuck even just walking around hunting. Let's just fire it out the window now. All right, we're 28 minutes into this movie.
The irony of seeing a sign that says "Do not fire" from a moving vehicle or something like that. I can't remember. I was just like, oh, movie.
Laugh fucking riot.
This is like when I went and visited Texas a couple months ago, and like every business had a "Don't bring your gun in here" sign.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's open carry, but like a private business can still have their own rules about it. So like all these, in the more liberal parts, in like Austin and San Antonio, all the businesses are like, yeah, we don't care if it's open carry. You don't bring that shit in here. Like,
well, yeah, I don't think you need a gun in a Chili's.
tell them that.
Have you?
You obviously haven't
been
eaten
to
a Chili's in a
Chili's?
while.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Where is my cornbread? Bam!
They've gone
Have you
downhill.
been in an
apparently.
Applebee's since they've had those dollar Long Islands? You need to protect yourself.
Oh yeah.
You just got it at the ready. You got it in the holster with one hand on it.
You know? You gotta be ready for anything, Mike.
Safety's off, boys. So then,
You know what? Fuck around and find out.
so here we go. Bobby, take it away. A cop pulls them over.
You always give me this. God damn it. So, a police officer pulls them over for driving erratically. And he's either a California Highway Patrolman or a sheriff. He's got the patches for either.
Yeah.
And
They
he
had
happens to
them
be an
both.
African-American gentleman. Yeah, he's covered in emblems for whichever kind of police officer you need him to be.
Can you imagine at the prop place? They're like, "All right, well, what type of cop do you need? You need a police officer? You need a highway patrol? I don't know." They're like, "Well, it's kind of a specific uniform. Give me both." Well, that doesn't really work that way, but
Yeah, he's got the SWAT vest and the sheriff's badge and the RoboCop visor and a 10-gallon hat.
just do it all. Then nobody can say it was wrong if you do all of it.
This guy's just an overachiever, okay, guys? Come on.
It's a small town. He's covering everything, man. He's managed to achieve every single possible position on the police force. So anyway, they call him the N-word.
Yeah.
What?
They
And,
call him. Well,
he's
they don't call him the N-word.
Not to his
says-
face, of course, because they're cowards.
He says,
And,
because he says to Leonard, he goes, "You're getting off with a warning. Just give me your license. I'm gonna go run the license in the computer, make sure nothing's wrong, or call the."
And when he first walks up
dispatch.
to him, he says, you boys are going kind of fast. And Leonard goes, who you calling boy? See, because he's spinning it around. You see, because Murray Langston wrote this.
Oh, here, hold on, guys.
And,
Guys, I wrote down Murray's joke. Do you have this, Bobby?
I don't know. Let's hear it.
Okay, guys.
Put the bag on your head and let's hear the joke.
Ready? This is it. This is the big punchline. Here we go. We've made the movie funnier. It's no longer a serious drama. The cop says, speed limit signs are posted all over. It's 55. You were doing nearly 70. And Leonard responds with, in a cat's ass.
In a cat's ass.
In a cat's ass.
Well, you know,
Classic.
it's the only place you can actually do 70.
That's
Jesus.
What the fuck?
So yeah, that's when he walks away, and Frank uses every racist term left, Bobby. Every racist term
yeah.
left.
And he also makes the claim that, if your kid wasn't here, Cameron Mitchell, I'd deck that sucker.
Yeah, and then Frank says, you should, Leonard. You should punch him.
it's like,
And I'm just- And I go, are we supposed to like these guys? I mean, I'm still trying to... I'm trying to wonder, are these our protagonists? Who's the protagonist of this movie?
Well, I mean, we established that they are clearly our protagonists when Buddy Owen asks, what's going on? And they respond, well, the cops got a report of a kid beating his meat in the back of a pickup truck.
And they just start laughing and laughing and laughing. And then the cop finally comes back to end this scene mercifully. Just fucking end it. He comes back and he hands Leonard this piece of paper. And Leonard takes it and crumples it up and throws it on the floor of the truck, because that's what you do when the cop says to you you're going to have a warning. Mm-hmm. But then he just, be an asshole to him. But then he looks and he goes, well, you might want to pick that up, and you'll find out that your warnings turned itself into a ticket. Goodbye.
You got 15 days or they'll issue a warrant.
And so then how do we end this scene? Well, they fucking drive off and litter all over the goddamn highway again.
That'll show them.
I almost expected, by the way, I don't know if you guys thought this too, but the way that litter hit the highway and the camera was panning, I almost thought we were going to do the Native American crying commercial, Like, I thought it was going to be like the punchline.
Funny bit of trivia about that infamous thing is that actor wasn't Native American.
Oh, boy.
Did you read about that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. The crying dude is an Italian guy.
Huh. That's a
that makes
new
it
one.
so much worse.
It really does, actually.
That was never even a Native American guy.
I mean,
Well,
do they don't say in the commercial this guy is a Native American. We're just assuming by the way he was dressed and the music that was playing in the background and the message that was being anyways, competing.
Of course. They ran it like a car commercial. There was the fine print that says Native American was a simulation only.
okay, guys. Here we go. We've got to it. The longest scene of this movie and the whole
We
movie,
finally
basically.
made it to the Stetson.
We are at a bar, and it's a real friendly bar because they got the stars and bars hanging on the wall.
I was like, oh, is this where the plot is?
Yeah, well, it kind of is because this is where we're going to start to get something resembling a plot. And guys, Mini Bin All-Star, Marsha Brady herself works here as the bartender.
What?
Maureen McCormick is in this movie.
Man, and she looks thrilled to be here.
Yep.
I looked up her IMDb. This was a little bit after The Brady Brides, which is a show I've never fucking heard of. This was a couple years after the Brady Variety Hour.
I assume the Brady Brides is following all the Brady children as they've gotten older and married off.
Yeah, none of those spin-offs worked, man. And so apparently Maureen McCormick needed to work, and she's in Texas Lightning as a bartender at a racist bar.
I recently watched The Last Picture Show, and I think the way they were framing her, the way she's dressed, and like even the way kind of her hair was styled, I think they were trying to like be like, oh, this is the Sybil Shepherd of our movie, this is the
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the girl that everyone's gonna notice and stuff like that. But yeah,
And you can see in that pitch, the guy telling Mr. Crowd, we got Masha Brady in the movie. Oh my God, are you serious? You got Maureen? Yes, we got her in the movie, and get this, she's gonna wear a low-cut top.
Whoa.
Oh my God, what a movie! Oh my God, are you serious? And guess what? She might have a sex scene. Oh my God, this is gonna be. I could see it now. Lines around the block. Oh my God, this is going to be wonderful.
Now, was anyone else waiting for a flying beer bottle to hit her in the face?
Oh, absolutely.
And her be like, my nose!
Oh, my fucking nose! Yeah.
Or at least the dog demauler, or wait, that doesn't happen to the Brady. Never mind.
We haven't covered that episode yet.
So my theory on why she was in this movie was, like you said, this is like directly off of her whole stint of Brady Bunch, stuff like that. And that's kind of like a common actress thing where it's like, I've only been seen as this chaste, whatever one-way figure, and it's like, I got to do something that's way out of character for me, so I'm gonna, play the person that she plays in this movie. She thought, oh, this is a good role for me, but it's like a childhood actress thing. Like,
yeah, I could see it too, because if they say something like, if this was a serious drama, right? This is like an indie movie, it's like going to get her maybe some real acting attention, because she's playing this character totally straight, right? She's not doing any sort of jokes in this movie. Her character is
she's playing it like she hasn't seen the new parts of the film.
Yes, yeah. And she's playing like a real kind of like a younger Jodie Foster type of role, where she's like, like a troubled girl, and like it all seems to make sense, but the movie around her doesn't.
No.
Because we cut from Maureen McCormick working as a bartender to a wet t-shirt contest.
So I didn't get to see this part. Well, that's not true.
Huh?
It was actually on the screen, but this is the precise moment where my cat decided to jump on in front of the TV, and I was like, I'm not gonna move her. This movie, come on.
Wet t-shirt contest in a cat's ass.
70 miles per hour.
Okay, well, Joel, you've missed the creepiest character in the whole movie then.
Oh.
The guy who MCs this wet t-shirt contest is so disturbing to me. Because...
well, I can make it better for you, Mike. Do you know who played this creepy MC?
Stop it. Murray Langston.
No, even better. The director of this film. The writer-director of this film is this creepy MC.
Shut up. Are you serious?
I am as serious as a wet t-shirt contest.
Okay, that makes so much sense.
This had to be reshoots, right?
Definitely, right? And, okay, here's the thing, guys. Because, all the shots of Maureen McCormick when we cut from the wet t-shirt contest to her are just her not... She's reacting to something off screen, but it's clearly not a wet t-shirt contest.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just kind of got like some sort of sly smile. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think she knew what the reverse was. Because... And, guys, okay, I've never been to a wet t-shirt contest, nor will I ever go to one, but is this how they're usually run? Like a apple bobbing type of deal?
No, my understanding, being white trash myself, is that most wet t-shirt contests at bars and, spring break and what have you, involve pouring out pitchers of water or beer onto the chest.
Yeah. Right?
Not leaning over a little too far in a wash basin. Sorry, in a wash basin.
Yeah, it's like they're bobbing for apples, but with their boobs. And while they're bending down...
They're boobing for apples.
Boobing for apples. The director keeps going, little lower, honey, little lower. And he's like putting his hand on the backs of the ladies and pushing them further into the bucket.
Yeah.
And then here's what we also want to do, guys.
Lord.
While we're watching a wet t-shirt contest, we keep cutting to a shot of an old woman clapping. And that's the real hard than soft in this movie.
Also, during all of this old woman clapping, there's a bar fight that breaks out at the pool table that no one is reacting to.
No.
Yeah, it's just a rowdy place, guys.
Yeah.
And it's a real Peter and the Chicken, because they brawl outside. They're in between cars.
Oh my
it's like
God.
the They Live Alley fight going on, and nobody knows that it's happening because it wasn't filmed at the same time.
This becomes kind of sensory overload because we just keep cutting from Maureen McCormick to wet t-shirt contests getting dunked by the director, forcing them further in a bucket, to guys fighting all over the bar and in the parking lot, to an old woman clapping. Just constantly.
And then back to the wet t-shirt competition, and they're all lifting up their shirts.
Yeah, now I'm like, okay, that's cheating. Now there's no, that's, There's no longer a wet T-shirt now. You're just
This-
taking the T-shirt off.
All a devious plan to confuse the movie watcher so they don't realize that 20 minutes have gone by.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
this is the thing too with the director doing this, Bobby. When he keeps telling the girls, he's like, "Bend over, come on, bend over, get in there," and he's like forcing these girls into the bucket. Right? It's very weird. I just thought, because I didn't know it was the director, I thought at one point I go, is he doing this to be a perv, or is he just like a real stickler for wet T-shirt contest rules? He's like,
Yes.
this is gonna be. This is going to be done by the book, ladies. It's got to be this amount, this bend down, everything like this. It's just too much of a. There's too much rules involved with this.
I
I'm
read
a
about this in a magazine once.
I'm a stickler for rules when it comes to my movies, right? But not when it comes to the wet T-shirt. I think that's kind of a freewheeling type of deal.
I don't think I want to. I don't want to actually dip into the water. Who's the auteur?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of cool. No. Who directed Orson Welles? Me.
I didn't mention this when we were talking about the director before, but I don't know if you use the IMDb app now, it pops up with this thing where it's like you might know this person from this, and for him it popped up for what is that John Cassavetes movie?
Home but not alone.
No, not that. Jeez.
Oh, the Joy Fuck Club.
Yes. Oh, that's the one. Dang it.
Silence of the Bums.
Now, who went into the video store and said, "Well, I love the Joy Luck Club so much, I'd like to watch the erotic version, please"?
Everyone. Okay. It says, you may know them from A Woman Under the Influence. And I was like, what? And he's not an actor. He was listed as one of the assistant directors for a John Cassavetes movie. I was like, what the hell?
That's what he told the lady as he dunked her in the bucket.
Exactly.
I know Cassavetes. Now get him in there.
Who? Get in there.
Do you think he was like, "Hey, Orson, I got a new role for you. How would you like to be the judge of a contest in my latest opus?" And he was busy that day. That's when I write my notes while this is going on. I go, why the fuck is Marsha Brady in this movie? Like, it's not adding up at this point. But then afterwards is when I read the whole trivia about this being a serious movie and then becoming a comedy. I'm pretty sure they added in the wet T-shirt contest.
Oh, they had to.
Right. So then the boys show up at the bar, right? Which is kind of sad because they missed the whole wet T-shirt contest.
And this is where some real comedy comes in because can we talk about the outfits these guys have on?
Oh, God. Well, they're in Texas,
This
Bobby,
is
and
some,
they dress like you guys. When you were in Texas, a lot of guys dressed like this.
I did for sure.
Got your Pee Wee shirt on.
Hey, this is some real this is some Pee Wee, some Eddie D's and shit.
Yeah. 10-gallon
So,
hats and
Frank-
everything.
Yeah, Frank's in powder blue with a neckerchief. Cameron Mitchell's in a gold blousey shirt.
Yep.
Look, these guys just walked out of the boot barn and took everything on the discount rack. Like, they got it all, man.
This is like Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber walked in.
They got the 10-gallon hats on and everything. Yeah, Cameron Mitchell's got a shiny shirt. Man, they look like a bunch of fucking idiots. And then they come into the bar. They look like they had a fun day on set because these guys are fucking lit. They are just so goddamn drunk.
They seem legit drunk, and for the next 25 minutes, we're basically doing the dance hall segment from the Muppet Show.
Oh, yeah.
Where we're just gonna hang out here, everyone's dancing around, and then we're gonna do a quick little 1-2 comedy bit, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. And by the way, we're gonna do all that with no goddamn lights. Like, what the
None.
fuck's going on? Like, this is the darkest movie I've ever seen.
And barely any boom mic.
You know what? It's so dark you couldn't see the boom mic, Bobby, because it almost is like they're
Smart.
They're in like some sort of dark room with just a spotlight on the guys. You can't see anything else. It's crazy how horribly made this movie is for a guy who's a cinematographer. And so then Buddy apparently has eyes for Marsha Brady, right? And Cameron Mitchell says something about how she's very attractive and he wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. Again, we're supposed to like him. We're supposed to like him.
And so they're ordering some drinks. and they all line up their drink order, and she goes, "You got ID?" And then one of the guys goes, "Did you say IUD?"
That's the punchline.
Murray,
Gonna happen with a
another
fucking
zinger.
Guys, I
She goes,
got to go throw
"Well,
up. Hold on.
Oh, well, here you go. Here's one, though.
You see, you're soft, Joel. You need to go hunting with us.
Joel, wait until you throw up, because the next part is when Frank tells Cameron Mitchell's son about how to pick up women, is that you should go to the group of women and pick yourself the most unattractive one in the group, because it's easy pickings.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're grateful.
That's
Can I,
wonderful.
Can I share a personal story with you guys?
Oh, no. I'm
Are
a little
we
afraid.
going back to the cop pulling over the people? What's going on here?
I have received this actual legit advice from a person.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still talk to this person?
Occasionally on Father's Day. And one time, unsolicited, apropos of nothing, my dad just went, "You know what your problem is?" And he goes, "Your problem is, son, you keep going after all these 9s and 10s. What you should be doing is going after these 5s and 6s. So they're just happy to have someone talking to them. You even brush up against their arm and they're dropping their keys." And I'm like, "Dad, I'm just trying to eat my lunch here."
He's saying this in the middle of a fucking Quiznos or some shit.
Dad, I'm trying to listen to the pastor.
Yeah, exactly. Can you keep it down? I'm about to take communion. And
I just love the idea.
That was some fatherly advice I received
I love
once.
the idea of you guys eating a sandwich or some shit, and somebody's at the drink machine. Listen to this.
Yeah. I'm like 15. I'm like, "Dad, I didn't ask for any
That
advice."
person dumped out their Sierra Mist and left.
Good day, sir.
Did your dad then stand up, knock the drinks off the table, and said, "You're normal. You're not weird. You're not weird."
My son is soft.
He's normal, everybody. He's normal. And you're like, "Well, I can never come into this Subway again. Thanks a lot."
Thanks a lot, Dad.
I'll have to go
Now,
to-
you've ruined Subway
I'll have
for
to go
me.
to the one down the block. Jeez.
And so this is what I
I
write.
can't imagine anything is ever going to ruin Subway worse than that.
Jared, help me. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
See, you got to be a real man, like this big pants guy they have on the poster.
Yeah, he's pointing towards the poster.
See, he's not weird. You got to be more like this guy.
Yeah, I bet Jared goes for a lot of 5s and 6s, Bobby.
Oh, God. That is awful. Wow. Whew. So, moving on.
This is what I write in my notes. I can't stand anybody in this fucking movie.
They don't...
Like,
Yeah.
I
And so they ask,
I can't even stand Maureen McCormick, man, because she's putting on this act like she's some sort of rough and tumble bartender. I'm like, stop it, Marcia. I feel like Mike Brady's going to walk in at any moment and go, "Marcia, get home. Let's stop this foolishness. Come on home."
nah, Mike Brady's going to pull out a glass of Jackie D and hang out with the boys. He's finally away. Him and Alice are going to be doing shots.
When he gave him that line about, going for the ugly women, yeah, Mike Brady just rolled up with 2 on each arm and said, "Yeah, he's right, son."
And so they ask Marcia what her name is in this movie, and she goes, Faye. And they go, "Faye Ray?"
Another Murray. Another Murray.
Oh, God, these guys. See, because that was an actress.
He writes these on the inside of his paper bag. That's what his old
That only
shtick.
he can see
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's why he's always giggling to himself.
So, I mean, does he have the record for being the most gong person on the Gong Show? I mean, he might. I don't think he ever made it through a set, man. They always kicked him the fuck off as soon as he got on stage.
Yeah, I think people were bringing their own gongs once they heard he was on it.
So then I just write. I keep writing. These guys have nobody has any redeeming qualities at all. At all. Even Buddy,
No.
I don't like him either because the next thing is like he's
'Cause he's
just-
weird, 'cause he's soft.
He is fucking weird, and not in a homosexual way. He's just weird.
Yeah,
he's just
and
fucking weird.
That's the thing is,
In a Norman Bates way.
That's the difficult thing about this movie. The conundrum we find, because they're not wrong about Buddy. He's kind of weird.
Yeah, he is a serial killer, as we're gonna get to.
So they're explaining to Marcia what they're doing this weekend, and about going hunting and all that. And she goes, "Well, that doesn't sound like much fun." And Frank goes, "Well, it's something to do." And she goes, "I guess that does it for you guys, huh? Bye."
Yeah.
and just leaves it
Thanks,
at that.
Maureen. So go to the bathroom, Bobby, Cameron. Okay, here's the thing. Did you guys also think this is we go into the bathroom and the first thing we see is Cameron Mitchell rolling up his sleeve? I thought he was like going to tie one off. I'm like, holy shit, are we going H train in this movie at this point?
I mean, there's got to be a turn somewhere. Come on.
Like I was really hoping that Cameron Mitchell was just going to start doing heroin at this point. I'm like, well, at least it'd be interesting.
Man, what a twist that would be if suddenly midway through this film, Cameron Mitchell ODs in a bathroom.
Well, he rolls up his shirt and he starts smacking his bicep. I'm like, uh-oh.
And now soft-ass Buddy Owen has to jam a needle in his dad's chest.
Yeah, and so Buddy comes in and he's like, Dad, they're making fun of me. And he's just like, son, you need to stop being weird and be a man. Go out there and if they're going to give you shit, give them shit right back.
And during that time when they were making fun of him is where they got the line I said at the top of this episode where they asked, do you ever knock off a piece of tail? And Buddy goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And Frank goes, dickin', boy, dickin'.
Yeah. And so at this point, we cut back to Leonard and Frank, Bobby, while they're saying these lines, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm going, in any other regular bar I've been into, these guys would be kicked out by now. Because they're so goddamn loud
They're
and horrible.
overserved.
Yes.
Our new Muppet Show gag we're doing here is they're sitting there, and Leonard looks down and goes, hey, there's a hair in my drink. To which Frank says, well, if it's kinky, leave it there. If it's straight, throw it on the rug.
I don't.
So, isn't that
I
great,
don't.
guys?
Is it?
No.
Well, you know what we cut to after that, Bobby, is we watch Cameron Mitchell ask Marsha Brady where he can buy a hooker. That's what happened
That's
next in this movie, is Cameron Mitchell asks Marsha Brady where he can find a hooker in this town. And she just kind of fools around with him and not telling him where.
And he gets a little hot about her messing with him.
Yeah.
And kind of implies like he's gonna lay the smack down on her if she keeps this up.
And that's when she still won't. She still
Which
keeps
is,
it up.
That's a treat.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
And then he says something about how, well, she's walking around here with her boobs hanging all out. And then she says something about how they're on the payroll. And all right, we're 50 minutes in.
For anyone still just joining us, we are 50 minutes in.
Cut to Leonard and Frank. So this lady is trying to hit on them at the bar. She's trying to hit on Leonard, right? And she's like, hey, why don't you buy me a drink? And he's just, he's ignoring her, right? And so
yeah, they get the old no sell because she's not up to their standards.
She's hilariously homely, I guess, is what we're supposed to think.
And we take a look at Leonard, and
yeah, where did you get standards?
And clearly,
my
he
friend?
can do better.
Look, let's just.
And then we cut to some new character.
Oh, my favorite.
Some drunk guy just suddenly announces to everybody, I can whip any man in this bar. Yee-haw! And he draws his gun and shoots out a ceiling tile that lands on his head.
You know, Bobby, when you said earlier that this was just the Muppets, it really is. This is just some shit that would happen on the Muppet Show.
Oh, yeah.
This is just the worst episode of the Muppet Show.
And by the way, this is the one time I legit laughed in this movie. When we cut to a random jackass at a stool going, I could take anyone in this bar, and then he shoots the ceiling and knocks himself out.
It is sort of the height of comedy for this movie.
And then we watch Cameron Mitchell go over the top with some dude.
Well, yeah, he's going to win. He was looking at that big rig earlier at the gas station. He's going to win it so his son respects him.
Yeah. Yep. So he arm wrestles a guy, and when he wins, the guy says something like, how'd you do that or something? And he goes, thank Jackie D.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
And so
it's all about Jackie D.
Do you think they gave this movie to Jack Daniels and were asking for the money?
They should have given this movie to Jack Kevorkian.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Murray. As that shopping cart rolls by.
It is getting warm in this bag.
Sign me up.
You got next.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now Marsha Brady goes over and talks to Buddy. And this is where we were kind of indifferent about Buddy up until this point, but now, no, fuck him. Because he just keeps looking at her. He goes, you got pretty hair. You got pretty hair.
And you're like, whoa.
You got pretty hair.
This is...
And then he goes, are you married? How come you aren't married? I'm like, dude, this is... Can we cut? Can we please fucking cut?
Ourselves.
So then we cut outside, and Frank is apparently going to go have sex with a lady he found at the bar. And
But first he's going to call
For no
home.
reason at all, he picks up a payphone and he calls home. He calls Donna. And Bobby, this is maybe my favorite part in the whole movie because what happens on the other end?
Well, first of all, he calls her collect.
Of course.
You know, like a gentleman.
Well, it is his office.
Back when you could do that sort of thing. Yeah. And he's just, he's explaining to her he's not going to be back for a couple of days. He just said, missing you just makes me shiver all over. And, we're feeling bad for her. And then suddenly a man pops up behind her.
Donna's still on the couch, too, we have to mention.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not allowed to leave
Still.
I also said, by the way, good. I'm glad she's cheating on him.
It really is a triumphant moment. You do kind of go, yeah.
Do you think that they put in the scene because they're like, see, look, she's doing it too? So it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of all her fault.
Really, if you think about it, if you look at it the right way.
Yeah. Kind of like Cameron Mitchell and his wife. You feel sorry for her, but then you realize it's all her
Wait,
fault,
maybe
actually.
that was the optometrist.
Oh, there you go. He's back, back in the office. So now we're back to Buddy and Marcia, and she says something about how she's divorced, but then Buddy just keeps asking her very, very weird personal questions.
Yeah, he's like, can you help me get this couch in the van?
And you know what? I've never been more happy to then cut to Leonard as he eats food off a passed out man's plate. Because I was like, well, at least I don't have to listen to that shit that was going on. And so I wrote, this is the worst bar in the history of the world. This is truly hell. And when I go to hell one day, I'll be here. This will be it. It'll be me.
You'll be arm wrestling Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah. As he tells me he went over the top because of Jackie D, while his douchebag friends are laughing and calling me weird.
I can see it, Mike. Your first day in hell, you come in, you go, I can whoop any man in this underworld.
Yep.
And then you shoot your gun in the air.
Well, I assume that's what you got to do because that's what everybody says you do in prison. You go for the biggest guy, right? I figure when I go to hell, I got to do the same thing.
Oh, shit. Did they mean fighting?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that changes things.
Whoops.
Depends on what kind of prison it is.
The one we're in watching this movie?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It just kind of goes on for a while, right?
It really does. Next thing you know, Frank just keeps shouting the word cocktails at everybody.
Yeah.
And he starts dancing with his girl, and some guy tries to cut in. He punches him out and yells cocktails.
And then I write in my notes, okay, as if this scene could get any fucking worse. A lady comes into the bar and catches her husband cheating on her with another woman.
Oh.
Yeah, suddenly we're introduced to Roy and Loretta.
My God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Roy's hitting on this girl. Loretta walks in, and the two of them get into a full-blown fist fight.
Yeah.
Just evenly matched back and forth. They're throwing blows.
Well, she
and then
punches
that
him
fight
first,
gets,
right?
Yeah.
So that's obviously what the director said. But she hit him first.
So he gets up and he hits her right back just as hard.
Oof.
Strong style.
Yeah.
But this fight, before it can go any further, is broken up by the "Are you ready for some football?" guy.
Yeah. So Hank Williams Jr. shows up.
He comes in, he's like, "Are you guys ready for some football?"
Hey, here's the thing, though. You say it gets broken up. He doesn't break it up. He comes over and he's like, hey, hold on here. And then he says something about how she actually started it, and then Hank Williams Jr. just kind of takes a step back and lets the fight keep going on.
Yeah. But she eventually goes outside and just starts taking rocks and smashing them into Roy's windshield.
Yeah. But don't worry,
And
because Frank helps out by taking the cheating girl for a piggyback ride around the bar.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Cocktails.
Cocktails. And yes, so she's, like you said, Bobby, smashing up the guy's car outside. She's laughing maniacally.
Yeah, we cut back and she's now driving a car into his car.
Yeah. You know what? There it is. She's the protagonist.
Yep. Let's see that movie, please.
So then Marcia Brady is grabbed by an old man as she's going to serve drinks,
Yep.
and he says, when you get out of this joint, you get me hot all over.
And she goes, well, maybe I can cool you off. And pours a drink on him.
Yep. I just read at this point in my notes, I go, I would give anything for this scene to end. And I mean anything. Then it just ends. Thank God it fucking ends. The boys have closed the place down. The bar is closed. Marcia says goodbye to Buddy, and the boys make fun of him, of course. And then Frank and Leonard want to bring him to a whorehouse. And I write, I really hope I don't have to watch that scene. Or, if they go to a whorehouse, I hope it ends up like Beverly Hills Vamp. That they all get killed by hooker vampires. But no, we just cut to Cameron Mitchell punching a guy.
I can explain this, if
Okay.
I may. Because they decided they're going to take Buddy Owen to a cat house, because as they say, quote, you can't pound your putt all your life, boy. And on their way out, the Are You Ready for Some Football guy talks a little shit to Buddy Owen. You know, sort of a what you looking at type moment. That's why Cameron Mitchell walks up, grabs his glasses, is like, my old friend, hey, buddy. And he decides he's going to tell him a tale of the time he took a flight from L.A. to Tokyo. And as he says that, he backhands him.
Yeah.
And then says, good night, sweet prince, the last drink's on me. And he pours a beer on his asshole and then pats him twice.
Yeah. So we didn't see
We do get a fat guy's asshole.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but we did see beer poured on it. But I wish I had the audio for this scene, because did you guys notice when he pours the beer on his ass and does this? This was clearly an improv because the crew starts laughing.
No.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
I just assume it was the bar patrons laughing at it. But
you can hear clearly in the background as people were not expecting it, and you could hear like the AD going, ha! It's fucking incredible. It was the most meta part of this. I actually really enjoyed that because it was so bad. So then we go to the parking lot, and Buddy looks like he'd rather die than get in a car with his dad and the boys. And he will, because if they end up driving, somebody's going to die. Probably not them, because with our luck, they'll probably kill a bus full of children and come out unscathed. But thankfully, Marsha Brady pulls up in her car and takes Buddy away. And the boys are so drunk beyond belief, and Cameron Mitchell says he's hungry, and, well, this movie's brought to you by Denny's.
Yep.
But Denny's wouldn't allow them to film inside.
Oh, no.
So instead, we film illegally a shot of a Denny's sign in shaky camera and have voiceover of Cameron Mitchell and the boys going like, would you order some pancakes? You order pancakes or something?
Oh, 3
Incidentally, they only carry Pepsi.
Yeah.
So it still scans.
Okay. So then Marsha...
Yeah, Cameron's getting his moons over my hammy.
Yeah. So then, you know, when we thought that maybe Marsha Brady might be a likable character in this movie, well, we're back in the hotel room, right? So Marsha Brady comes into Buddy's room, and she's like, I want to hang out here. And he's like, oh, okay. And she goes, can you get the dog out of here, though? And so he puts his frickin' dog out in the cold in the middle of the night. Just makes him stay outside the hotel room.
And you can already
Weirdo.
feel the temperature changing in the movie at this point. It's like, feels a little different than it had before. It's like, are they going to kill the dog? Because I'm going to get really upset at a movie that I
It's a huge
already
tonal
hate.
shift, and I wouldn't have been surprised.
So she goes, oh, can I smoke a cigarette in the room? Everything's like, yeah, it's fine. And then she's...
which is already weird behavior, because she's like, can you close that door? Can you turn the lights off? Is it all right if I smoke here in the dark?
Like, oh, good, she's going to kill him and skin him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she goes, I'd like to spend the night in your room. And he's like, oh, okay. And she goes, look, my sister, she's in the hospital, and I really don't want to go home alone and sleep in my apartment. So, unfortunately, she's in there, and we're in a bad spot, buddy, because we don't really have any money. And this is when I write, is she fucking holding his ass up for money?
She sure is. She's like, I need about $50 to help finish paying for his bills. And he's like, I only got 22. She goes, I'll take 20.
And then gives him a kiss. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. And there's some police lights flashing outside. And Buddy is like, hey, you better get out of here. You're not registered at this hotel.
Yep.
You know, because he's an idiot.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, too, is that did you guys have a theory that Cameron Mitchell actually did get her to go to the room? Because he was asking her where a guy could get a little action, right? And do you think that he set it up that she would basically, you know, take him back to the room and she'll get the money out of him?
Honestly, that makes sense. I
started-
can't even rule out that had happened.
I started to go, I think that she's actually a prostitute. So, what a role, Marine.
And so, yeah, so they're kissing, and it leads to a whole slow motion sex scene that takes about 3 hours.
Yeah. A lot of back, guys. A lot of back.
Oh, so much back.
Yeah. And you know all the guys in the audience are excited because they're seeing a Marsha Brady sex scene.
Yep.
Just showing a lot of back. Then we got to, here's the real hard than soft in this scene, Bobby, because we cut from Marsha Brady's back in a sex scene to a shot of a cold dog.
Yeah. I don't need time for a Sarah McLachlan song.
Because that's the shot. Yeah, the dog looks like it's about to cry.
Like, wait, well, hold on. I'm watching a sex scene with a member of the Brady Bunch, and now you want me to adopt a dog?
So no, the sex scene between Marsha Brady and Buddy, and I just write why. And this music's very, very intense for some reason, which is weird because this isn't. It's like a thriller movie's going on, but we're watching a sex scene. At this point, you're like, okay, this doesn't fit. But then, oh no, it does fit.
Oh no!
because the boys are back. And
Oh
well,
boy.
Buddy
Hey Joel,
doesn't-
why don't you take it from here?
yeah, I'd be happy to take it from here. Let me tell you. You got two guys. There's also Cameron Mitchell, obviously, but he's gonna stay outside. He doesn't want to bother his son.
There's no locks on the doors here.
Absolutely not. No. But so you got two jackasses. You got Frank and idiot fat guy. What's that guy's name?
Leonard.
And they can't help themselves. They're like schoolboys. They're just knocking on the door, peeking in the window. Ooh, what's going on in here? And just like you said, there's no lock on the door. And, of course, Cameron Jr. in there is freaking out. Marcia's freaking out. These guys don't care. And all of a sudden they decide, hey, why don't we just get a little rape on it in this movie? You know what? This movie has 0 rape. But then it goes to a full 100.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
And
this
I'm
is
like,
when
where's that
Mr.
That's what we
Crown.
needed.
This is when Mr. Crown is sitting in the audience. He goes, "Turn it off right now. Turn the fucking movie off." You have Masha Brady in a sex scene in this movie, and she's raped. What in the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And I feel like he's like a father giving this director a talk, being like, "You're sick, man. The only person in this movie that's weird is you."
The director starts crying and he goes, "It's art."
Yeah, I never thought when we started this movie I was going to see Marsha Brady be raped by 2 drunk assholes.
Yeah, I don't need this.
No, nobody needs this.
So they do their thing, and Buddy has run outside.
This is when I write my notes, Bobby. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is a low point for the Grindbin, and that
I
says
thought you
something.
were just upset because they showed the wrong ass. You wanted to see Leonard's and we ended up seeing Frank's. It's just...
Yeah.
I mean, on top of the other things, that too was disappointing.
Yeah, that's true. We did. You know what? We did actually get a fat man's asshole. We did see him pull down his pants. So there you go. Mark your bingo cards, everybody.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
But so Buddy runs outside, and Cameron greets him, and he's hugging his son, saying, "It's all right, boy. It's all right." And eventually,
No, it's not.
It's really not.
It's not.
And the boys are too drunk to complete what they've attempted to do, thank God. But Marcia comes out. She walks over to Buddy and she throws the $20 bill back at him.
Yeah. And then she drives off, and I write, "What the fuck is all this?" And then we keep cutting to the dog. We keep cutting to the dog.
I was waiting for him to talk.
Yeah, it should have been a reaction shot, like the dog going, "Whoa."
Oh, Raggy.
So then Frank and Leonard come into the parking lot, and guys, as if you didn't hate them enough, they come up and they say, "They're all goddamn whores, buddy. One day you'll thank me for this. They're all goddamn whores."
I can't. Sometimes you just really want to be able to reach through a television screen.
Yeah.
So then Cameron says they all need to calm down because you know what, guys? We got a big day of hunting tomorrow. There's still a movie to be made.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a tease for what comes later, because at the end of this, before they all go their separate ways, Leonard or Frank, whichever one of them it was, says, "Men don't pay for it, they take it." Mm-hmm. And Buddy gets real serious, and his eyes narrow, and he goes, "Is that a fact, Frank? Is that what a man does?" And I'm like, oh, there's going to be a payoff. Like, this is going to end in a fucking rampage.
Finally.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a 70s movie.
It's
like, something's happening.
Yeah, I pause the movie and I start celebrating in anticipation of the blood flow that is no doubt soon to be on screen.
And that's, like, why we sat through this.
Yes,
Hell
we're getting
yeah.
our
Now I'm
Crown
on
International
board.
payoff. Fuck yeah.
We were just doing the Straw Dogs this whole time. This is fun.
It's like a Howard Avedis movie, we're back with Dr. Minx and all this stuff. Like, some shit is gonna go down, right?
Have you seen? I kept thinking of the Peter Bogdanovich movie Targets. Where the young man just finally loses a screw and just shoots people. I'm like, oh, okay, that's who he's ripping off.
Yes, we're gonna get it. It's gonna be great. I'm like, okay, I didn't like Buddy before, but if he kills all these fucking jackasses, I'm in, man. I'm in.
And then I'll be okay with this. So Buddy goes inside the hotel, and Cameron's trying to follow him, and he slams the door on him. He wants no part of this.
And then Cameron ends the scene by just smoking a cigarette for a minute while he's collapsed onto the ground in front of this cheap hotel. It's kind of
Fantastic.
like a real part of Cameron Mitchell's career, It was like a real...
Just chain smoking at the end of every scene.
Is it really?
Yeah, no, it's just like this is the part where he is in his life in 1981. Like times are tough, man. Like he was just in the Evil Knievel movie, a little bit before this. He just had to watch a scene where Marsha Brady got raped, and he told his own son, his own flesh and blood son, that it's going to be okay. And at the long day of filming, he just collapses onto the ground and smokes a cigarette before we cut.
Like, what am I doing?
Did you guys have a weird thing where you could actually hear the audience of the theater where it was released go, "Where's the joke?"
Yeah, they left that in on the Amazon Prime
Yeah,
feed. They had the audience reaction track.
So, guys, it's the big day. The big hunting day, and guess what? Nobody's in the fucking mood. They're driving to the hunting spot, and here's another thing, too, is Frank keeps complaining that Marsha Brady stole his wallet, and I write, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I got $100.
Like, I don't even want to hear this.
I had $100 in my wallet in there. I go, fuck you, Frank. Fuck you.
And they start arguing over the last cigarette. They start fighting about it, which ultimately leads them crumpling up the empty pack and throwing out the window, which hits Buddy right in the face.
And he's just got that 1,000-yard stare, man.
Yeah, he's full-on Private Pile at this point.
He is.
Buddy is in a world of shit.
He takes out a pad of paper and he writes down that real quick.
I am in a world of shit.
So now we go to the hunting grounds, and these idiots are fucking eating beans and stuff, and Frank has this whole joke where he's like, Leonard, I know where you bring the beans so you can fart. Great. So now, at this point, though, I'm writing my notes. I go, Buddy's going to kill all these guys, and I've never been more excited while watching this movie.
Did you think that at this point, we're over an hour into this movie now, that you'd be excited about this movie? And, like, looking forward to where it's going?
Oh, man. This is like when in Demon Cop, when he finally became the Demon Cop and punched somebody. I'm like, here we fucking go, man. We're going to get the bloodshed, right?
So, yeah, they start playing around with each other, and the play fight starts getting a little hot. Frank and Leonard. I don't mean hot as in sexy. I mean hot as in, like, they get a little angry.
It's just Frank just becomes the worst human being alive at this point. It's like if we couldn't hate him enough.
Well, I think the heat's getting to him.
You mean the heat of the desert or the heat in, like, everybody hating him?
I mean the heat of the moment. Yeah, the heat of the desert. I think it's starting to break him. So yeah, he gets a little angry at Leonard for, after he slaps Leonard in the belly and Leonard pushes him back, he takes a whole plate of beans and he whips it at him.
In slow motion, by the way. Slow motion bean toss, which I really like. That's a nice little touch.
Back and to the left.
Because it almost does that, like, $6 Million Man thing where it goes, as the beans hit him in the face,
And he goes, I could kill you for that, Frank.
And then Frank then kind of gets all, he's like, yeah. And then he goes, hey, buddy, why don't you arm wrestle me? He walks over and he's like, come on, let's arm wrestle.
And Buddy looks up and goes, hey, Joker.
I was just going to say Leonard decides to bathe in I think a beer, right, to wash the beans off?
Yeah. While they arm wrestle.
Yeah, I think so.
And Buddy doesn't even try, and Frank just beats him right away, and Frank just starts walking up Cameron Mitchell. He's like, your son's a fucking weirdo. What's wrong with him? He's a real soft son of a bitch.
And Cameron starts to dress him down. He's like, Frank, you used to be tough. Maybe that old lady's taking too much out of you. And they mention that whole thing about running off with a circus dwarf. This is where they mention that. And he says to him, I remember when you pinned every guy at the Rainbow Bar.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
What?
I mean, were they wrestling, or is this he was just going around pinning people?
I think so. I think he just got that drunk. He's just like, all right, happy Festivus, everybody.
All right, Leonard, count to 3. And he's just going around the bar pinning every guy.
Oh, God, he was in a blousy referee shirt like he was working at Foot Locker.
Hardcore title is on the line, Bobby. 24/7.
I remember when we did that, Mike. You and I went to that bar in L.A., and you put on the referee shirt, and I just started wrestling strangers.
Yeah, you pinned every guy in the bar.
I did. I'm still the champion.
So then Frank starts yelling at Buddy, and he's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Because he's like, why are you so mad at me? And I go, well, why the fuck do you think, Frank? I mean, do we really need to explain it?
They don't. They don't know.
Yeah, he seriously doesn't know. He's just like, doesn't even bring up the rape or like anything was wrong at all. He's just like, fuck all you guys, I'm going to go hunting.
Yeah, he swaps guns with his dad, and he kind of Terminator walks away.
Yeah, music gets really serious, right? Yeah, dun 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 dun. and he's walking off into Joshua Tree. And then we just, we want to see another montage of idiots shooting shit. Leonard tries to shoot a tarantula, and then he tries to shoot a snake. And then we cut to Buddy, and he's got Frank in the sights of his gun.
Yeah, and I'm getting excited. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, now it's about to happen. This shit's about to go off.
Rhino hard at this point. But Bobby, so Buddy's sitting on a rock within 10 feet of Frank pointing a gun at him, which is very funny that Frank doesn't notice him just sitting clearly in the open right next to him.
Yep.
His vision works on movement.
And then Leonard, so Buddy shoots at his feet, and Frank stands up. He's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And Frank's dropped his gun in fear.
Mm-hmm. And Buddy goes, "Well, I'm having a hunting party, Frank. You want to join me?"
Yeah, he keeps ejecting cartridges without actually firing. So he's just leaving bullets on the ground. But
yeah, he hasn't quite got the hang of how these guns work.
No. But then Leonard shows up.
And he says, I'm as good as you boys taught me.
Yeah, because he also shoots at Leonard's feet, and then he drops his gun.
And they yell, "Enough is enough, buddy!" And he goes, "You still think I'm weird, Frank? Let's have a little target practice." He looks at the two guys and goes, "You are the rhinoceros, and you are the pig."
And then he blows their brains out. Wait a minute.
No.
Nope. He jumps in the truck and he leaves.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he shoots at them. He shoots right by their faces, with an inch of their face. And they run off.
Hard than soft, boys.
Yeah, they run off, and then Buddy just drives in a truck. And then Cameron Mitchell shows up, and he looks in the truck, and Buddy's not in there, and Cameron Mitchell's got his gun now pointed at Cameron, and he says, "You want me to be a man?"
And he ejects another bullet.
"You want me to be a man?"
He goes, "It takes more than a rifle and a quart of Jackie D to be a man."
That's the new tagline, by the way, for Jack Daniels. Do you think
it's gonna take more than a quart?
Do you think they presented that to the Jackie D people?
And then he blows his father's head off, right, guys?
Nope.
But
it's just blood and Jackie D everywhere.
No, Buddy just walks off.
No,
actually,
he just walks away.
He pulls the trigger, but the chamber was empty.
Oh yeah, click.
And then he walks off. Then we just fade to the bar. And Marsha Brady's singing a song on her acoustic guitar, because apparently that was in her rider that she got to sing a song in this movie.
It felt like we were getting a whole set.
Written and sung by her, by the way.
Yep, that was her one caveat. I think that's how they got her in this movie.
But they had to have the part where she sits in front of the Confederate flag while she sings it. So it's a little salt on the wound, But then Buddy's in the back of the room, and he walks up to her, and the bar is empty, right? They're not open. Marsha finishes her song.
And just starts dead face clapping.
Yeah, oh my God, again.
Like he's staring into her soul.
And I was like, okay, Buddy, if you're going to kill one person,
How dare
if
you.
you're going to kill one person in this movie, please don't make it Marsha Brady.
Yeah, this has gone horribly wrong now.
At this point, I'm so desperate for blood, I don't care.
You're like, do it, blow her fucking head off.
And it's not from like a particular bloodlust, right, Joel? It's just you want something to happen.
I'm just so
right?
tired of seeing my own blood. I just need to see something else.
No, because she's like pissed at him, legit pissed. And he says, "I'm sorry." I mean, she has every reason to be pissed at him. Mm-hmm. Your fucking dad's friends came in and raped me last night. You did nothing about it. And he goes, "I'm sorry. I just came by to see how you were and tell you I care."
Aww.
And then Marsha goes, "I lied about my sister."
And she apologizes.
And he says, "Yeah." And he says, "You know what? It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And he says, and she says to him, "I hope that you don't think what your friends think. I wanted it to be something special." And he goes, "It was." And then they kiss each other.
And then we cut to a montage of what happened in the movie, like everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like all the fun we had in this movie with some nice, happy music.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And I'm like, wait, we haven't resolved anything. This is just...
Bobby...
Now, this is an interesting thing. Are you guys on the same page as me with the thought that they definitely come kill Buddy after what he just did, right?
Yeah, no. I felt like this movie should have ended like Demon Cop. Like where, Demon Cop got shot and he's on the ground and he starts singing Gino Spinelli's Crazy Life.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
As Frank comes in and shoots Buddy right in the chest. Or maybe they paid Maureen McCormick to do it. Like they paid Marsha Brady to kill him. And he's just on the ground.
What I wanted most at the end of this movie was basically the Reservoir Dogs ending. I wanted the big Mexican standoff with everybody because the tensions were so high, and then they all just fire off one round, everybody drops, And then the puppet squirrel goes,
I think it's,
and then they cut to the dog watching, and he just goes.
if anything, it's going to be an old-fashioned block the doors off and then throw a Molotov cocktail, watch them burn kind of situation.
I'd have been great with that. That'd have been a great ending.
So recommendations?
Joel, you want to go first?
Listen, I know we talked a lot of crap about this movie, but listener, you need to watch it. You owe it to yourself. I'm not saying it's like the Ring tape where if I don't get you to watch it, then I'm going to die in 7 days, but you need to watch it, please. Please, for God's sake.
He's got 4 days left. Somebody watch
Joel
this.
just wants
Help me.
somebody to share the pain.
This is exactly what happened when for the other podcast I'm on, we watched The Greasy Strangler, which is far and above a much better movie. But I was like,
which is
you guys
saying
need to
something.
watch that movie so that you can feel what I feel.
Bobby, what do you think?
Oh, hell no. Absolutely not.
Yep,
I'd rather sit alone with a bottle of Jackie D.
100% no.
And you know, can we give back Patreon money? I don't know if that's a thing we can do.
Wow.
But I am kidding, of course. Well, thank you for the recommendation. I know you enjoy our pain.
Yeah.
And
But do you guys hear that sound?
oh dear,
How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in the world of Texas Lightning?
Joel, you want to take it
Yeah,
first?
let me take a little thing here. Okay, so we've heard a lot about Frank and his wife running off with somebody. I'm thinking at the end of the movie, we see the boys go home. You know, Cameron goes home. Who knows what's going on with his son? Leonard goes home. His mother's there, disappointed. But when Frank gets back, you know, he's ready. He's dog tired. He doesn't notice that there's a certain van across the street, but that's okay. He opens the door, and Donna lifts her head up on the couch. Frank, you're back, and he's like, well, yeah, of course I am. What is going on here? And a little head pokes over the thing, and he goes, oh no, not another M word. I'm not going to say that word. And, you know, DeVito's right there. Bobby comes out from the back. He's only wearing a Speedos and goes, you into studs? And, you know, that's the real end of the movie.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I think that while everyone was distracted by the bar fight after the wet T-shirt contest, nobody noticed the side-by-side expulsions of water come up out of that basin, like two blowholes, and the pair of heads that stuck up out of the basin going, I think now's a good time to leave, Bobby.
Oh, wow.
I think they were hiding.
That's why those women didn't want to get closer, deeper in there.
Exactly. They looked down in the water and they saw two smiling faces
wow.
underneath. They went, yeah, I don't know about that. They're like, get down there.
So, guys, I think I'm going to connect this to a mini bin of ours, which is the mini
What?
bin where we covered where Bobby from the van is in an episode of the Brady Bunch.
Oh.
I feel like because Marcia ended up going on a few dates with Bobby, right? I think things didn't
Yeah.
go too well. And eventually, Marcia had to
Oh.
skip town because she had a stalker named Bobby, of course, under his pseudonym that he used in the episode, whatever the hell it was, Charlie or something. And I feel like at the end of the movie, right when we cut, while they're kissing in that bar, all of a sudden you'd hear, and in comes Bobby and he goes, oh, this is where you are. Cut. Oh, yeah, he does like the Linda Blair thing. Where you gonna find me? Savage Street. So, Joel, where can everybody find you?
So if you want to hear me and Spencer, previous guest Spencer, talk about classy Japanese movies, you can catch that stuff on High and Low, a Kurosawa podcast. All the old episodes are up still. And if you want to hear me talk about science fiction and fantasy movies, Please Don't Send Me Outer Space is the name of that one. And I welcome anybody to listen and criticize me there. Not here. I'm an amateur.
Also, I just want to extend this now. Joel, would you like to come back with a better movie
Oh,
sometime?
absolutely. I still want to
I'll be glad to have you back.
the excuse to make somebody watch. I'll get back to you. There's one that stars the Crimson Executioner that I just love.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah, bring us a movie. Come right back on. Anytime. Bobby, everybody can find us on grindhillsfilm.com. We're Twitter at GrindPod. We're on Facebook, The Grindbin Podcast, Instagram, The Grindbin Podcast. And you can join our Patreon for as little as $2 a month and hear weekly bonus episodes.
We appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're on the Patreon or just listening to the general feed. We're glad to have you as part of this.
And the person who picked this episode, Eric, is a Patreon member at the $10 tier, which means he gets to pick movies for us to cover on this show. You officially get one movie, but let me tell you, every time the one movie's done, we just kind of cycle back and ask people what they want. And also, you can vote on a movie that we have on the show every month. Last month's was Viva Knievel, and this month, Bobby, my God, it finally won the poll. Black Gestapo is coming to the Grindbin.
I cannot believe it. The Susan Lucci of the Grindbin, as far as the voting is
Patrons
going.
demanded it, so
It's finally time. And, I'll let you know this right now, Mike. I had a private conversation with Mr. Crown.
oh no.
And he's got something special coming up for us in the month of May.
Oh, God.
I'm not at liberty to divulge, but it's going to be something that we have not experienced before.
Wait, he reached out to you and not me?
I was surprised.
Wait, why
I
is
don't
that
know why.
phone ringing? What in the fuck? Bobby, can you answer that?
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, boys.
Mr. C!
Hello, Mr. Crown. I hear you've been talking to Bobby.
Shut up, Mike. Who you got on the show today? Hey, Joel, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Crown.
Nice to meet you. I just wanted to say one thing before we go, boys. Via con Dios.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky got no real rhythm.
Hello,